and honor to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well. And salutation and much love to the Akim out there pushing out his word in truth and sincerity. First from Great Millstone Tampa, back with another live lesson, was going to be edifying to the hopeful elect. We're just going to go in the spirit, but, we're going to start on Isaiah 4 and 1. That's the topic of the day. And like we were talking before the camera, why these things are going to happen. Isaiah 4 and 1, the women coming to us is just a byproduct, of the scenario that's going to go down, and the power of the Lord that's going to be on us. That's going to have these women humble themselves, all right, and be willing to get with the program. We ain't going to have to chase after them. We ain't going to have to, spit game. They're just going to see you glowing, all right, in a time of famine, in a time of death and destruction, and we're going to be stable, as Isaiah 33 and 6 says. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. So that's what's going to make these women get in line real quick. A turning of things is about to be turning of things upside down. Well, now it's about to be put back upright. So let me read it in the GNT. In Isaiah 4:1 says, when that time comes, 7 women will grab hold of one man and say, we can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say you are a husband, so that we won't have to endure the shame of being unmarried. Yeah, because all that single, independent, I can do all by myself, I'm a strong, independent, well, all that's BS, and it's all going out the window at the end of the day. All right, because a woman ain't gonna be able to fend for herself when the looters and the shooters come out. When people are fighting at the grocery store, we saw that during the C-19, when people were bombarding the stores and fighting over toilet paper and all kind of other things. There was barely women to be found. And what are you gonna do if a man decides to punch you, cold clocks you, and takes your food? What are you gonna do to defend yourselves? So you're gonna need a man to protect you.
Real quick, just back to precept. We brought this out. This is Isaiah 13 and 15. The point is in 16 as well. It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword. That's right. And that's showing you that's going to be a time of war, a time of sedition, a time of civil war, okay? A time of neighbors invading one another. Like the priest was just mentioning, you had it with the C-Vid situation where people started going into their natural instincts of survival mode, man. All right, and that was just a prelude of Jacob's trouble, which we're getting into, because that's the time frame that we're expounding on, that where Isaiah 4:1 is going to be in full effect. Okay, so it said, everyone. I'll read it again. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the edge of the sword. That's right. Everyone is going to be thrust through by the edge of the sword. Esau, Edom is going to unleash nothing but wrath upon this place, man. Revelations, the 12th chapter. Okay? We're talking about famines. Okay, so when it's a lack of bread, what the scripture said, for the love of many shall wax cold. That when you go into that cold, it goes into psycho. All right? People are going to be out of their goddamn mind, man. And when there's no order, this is when women are going to seek order. All right, they're going to fall back into their rightful position of understanding the reality of life. All right, of them being, less strong to a man. Like they say, well, this is a man's world.
Yep.
This is what they're going to come to realization, man. All right. Last verse 16. It says their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Yeah, because people are going to be killing their children, man. Okay? We're talking about people eating kids in that time. The scripture says it's going to be better to die by the sword than to die of a famine. People are going to be eating it. This happened in the ancient time. And there's nothing new under the sun, as the scripture says, man. So it's going to be happening once again, and that's what people fail to realize. Okay? It says, their children shall be dashed to pieces.
Yeah, and what is a woman going to do when children are being dashed into pieces? Look, you can see what's going on in these wars over on the other side of the world. Well, even in South America, when war breaks out, women and children are victims. They're defenseless. Men start raping, Wait till the all hell breaks loose, man. You women are gonna find out the hard way that
Yeah.
you're gonna start begging men to protect you.
Yeah.
And now and guess what? A lot of men are bitter. A lot of men ain't getting no play. Getting dissed, getting used.
Backed up.
They all sent here. It is. The dude been simping for years and ain't got the box. So what do you think that happened when there's no law?
Right.
When there is no 911 to call, like in the movie The Purge, I think it was the second one. Dude, the next door neighbor, the nigga was at the door, trying to get the mom and the daughter. So and the husband that you left or the baby daddy, he ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. So it's gonna take the mercy of the Lord to lead you to a man of the Lord. All right, that's gonna be more precious than fine gold. And fine gold you can't just find everywhere. It's scarce. And that's how the men of the Lord are going to be.
Finishing off, it says, their children shall also be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. All right, their house is going to be robbed. They're going to take everything you got, including your wives. When these foreign troops invade this land, they already showing you a glimpse of that reality that's coming to a city near you. When you look at the war between Russia and Ukraine, you got them cats out there running around with guns and Viagra, man.
Hey, if it starts raining more, we'll just hop in the whip. We'll get soaked.
Yeah, this is the reality that you're gonna have to face, man. Okay, that here it is. These troops are going to invade, and not only invade your land, but invade your home and your women and your children, man. Okay. That's why the scripture said, "All the proud shall cease in that day," man. When you read up a verse, man, this is the Lord is coming to humble this place with His judgment. All right, and Yahweh Shai with the host of heaven is going to come and put the icing on the cake. But before it gets that far, it's a torturous judgment that's going to be unleashed on this place, where women are going to be seeking for shelter and help, man. Okay,
let's go back. You got the blue letter there. Get the
Isaiah
Isaiah 4:1 in the NLT.
Yep. This is Isaiah 4:1 in the NLT. In that day, so few men will be left.
So there's so few men will be left. Why? Because they're gonna be. Well, I'll read it real quick. Second Ezra 16 and verse 33 in the GMT. Young women will be in mourning because there is no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands. Daughters will be in mourning because there is no one to help them. All the young men will be killed in the war, and all the married men will die in the famine. So these men are just going to start dying or disappearing off into the war. So that's why it's going to be but few men. And that's why women are going to have to cleave unto a man of the Lord. Oh, yeah, that rain's coming. Let's go ahead and hop in the car. But a woman, they're going to have to get in line and cleave unto a man of the Lord because they ain't got no option. Because who else is going to protect them? And it's going to be up to us whether we want to protect you or not. Yeah. If the Lord put the Spirit on us to protect you, then we will through the Spirit. Because we're going to have, in that day, we're going to have miraculous powers and abilities that no one else, just keep talking.
Yeah.
That no one else will be able to do. We'll be able to multiply food, we'll be able to, the things are limitless, what the men of the Lord are going to be able to do.
That's right.
The Lord said we're going to do the same works and greater. Why do you think there was people followed the Lord just to eat? But in that day, it ain't going to be for everybody to get the benefits of the power of the Lord through His men.
That's right. Yeah.
So like, just give us a second, hopping back in the whip.
In that time, man, you're gonna see the true value of value.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So like, we just had to hop back in here because stay dry.
Yeah. So in that time that we're approaching, man, it's like never before. Matter of fact, let me grab that as well, because see, that's what these people fail to realize. The times that's approaching.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yep. The times that's approaching. Matter of fact,
It's all good.
Let's see. Okay, so like you bear with me real quick. Let me grab that real quick. This is Jeremiah 30. I'll start at. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." And that's the voice we're hearing through the mouth of the prophets. Okay, not only we're speaking it, but for decades the apostles and the elders been out here giving that warning. Okay, that World War III was coming. Okay, now here it is. It's in our reality. The vision that was for appointed time at the end now is speaking, as it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Okay, famine, economic collapse. Okay, the MOTB, spoken about also in Revelations, the 13th chapter. With this digital transition, a lot of people are going to revolt against that, man. Okay, so what you think is going to happen? They're going to cut off your food supplies to break you into obedience, to break you into submission. All right, so it says,
yeah, and women are weak. The scriptures say that. We're not just saying it. The scriptures say the woman is the weaker vessel, so they'll fall for anything, especially in time of crisis. They're gonna go. Women go for who got the power. You know, that's like a sixth sense for them. They can sniff it on you.
Hypergamy.
Yep. Women have the ability to walk into a room and see who's who's in charge, so to say.
Yep.
But so in the day of that power, that people shall be willing, it's beginning chiefly the woman. And guess what? The Lord's gonna give his men power. The scriptures say that we're gonna have abundance. Heathen gonna see it and envy us and not be able to do nothing. So, you know, these women are gonna, you know, for you brothers out there, these women are gonna come chasing after you, man.
Yeah, the power's going to shift. That's the time that we're coming in. We're coming to a shift of worlds, which consists of a shift of powers. Those that's at the government seat right now, the elites, Esau, Edom, they're going to be brought back to their rightful position, which is the base of men. Okay, they're going to be put back at their position, and us being like the Lord said, the turning of things upside down. All right, the elder priest Ash just mentioned it. Now it's going to be reversed back on in its rightful position, man. Which the government body of the earth is the nation of Israel. All right, but primarily starting with the elect. All right, so it says back in Jeremiah 30:5, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." There's no peace that you're hearing of right now. The scriptures talk about a time and a season. What time and season are we in? All right, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Are we not in the time of war? Okay, it's war not only globally but locally. Look what's going on with these different protests, the uproars of the people.
Political turmoil.
That's right.
People are revolting against the government, and this is just the beginning of it. People are gonna get, you know, it ain't just gonna be protests marching in the streets with signs no more. It's gonna get violent, as it already has, but it's gonna get much worse. You know, and again, you women, what the hell y'all doing out there? They out there because nobody's, the bullets ain't rang out yet. You know, they just want to march out there and just, you know, stupidity, really, just be out there for no goddamn reason. That's why we don't have no women out there with us, because we're out there on the back. It's a war, you know. Women belong at home, okay?
That's right.
And that's what going back to the Isaiah 4:1, that's what they're gonna be willing to do. They're gonna be willing to be women again. They're gonna be real feminine real soon. They're not gonna, well, hell, they're already crying on the internet now, talking about they don't want to work no more. Where all the good men at? I'm ready to be a mom. Bitch is 38 with 3 kids, and now she want a strong man to submit to. Too late. You know, doesn't the scripture say to us, and seek the Lord in thy youth, you know, roughly paraphrasing.
That's right.
So what the Lord wants is young. What's different from us? We don't want no old hag that, you know, we got hella miles on her. But then again, you know, it's up to the Lord who the Lord's gonna send. But hey, we're gonna be the ones choosing. You know, we're not just gonna take every woman.
That's right.
Hey, the tables are turning, man.
That's right.
And then again, it's these women that are gonna come running. A lot of them very well may be delivered. You know, that's why the Lord gonna send them to us. Or hey, the Lord might send you a bitch that got a chip so she can go to the store and buy you some food. You know, just keep her at bay. But hey, she got the chips. So, hey, you better make yourself useful. You're not just gonna be sitting here looking pretty. And anyway, in that time, ain't gonna be no makeup. When all hell hits the fan, these women ain't gonna be sitting in the mirror putting makeup on and trying to look cute. You know, you putting on the high heels, and you know, nope. These women are gonna want to hide in that day. The beauty, I forgot what brother it was. Beauty is gonna be a curse in Jacob's trouble. Because men are gonna be wanting to ravish you, like the brother read earlier. Your women ravished,
That's right.
and hell, even the ugly bitch is gonna get raped.
Oh yeah.
But how much more a beautiful bitch, you know?
Yeah. Them filthy ass foreign troops, them heathens, they don't give a shit about how you look. Because one thing about them ravishing you, all right, that's consistent of them getting a drive off of conquering your people, man. You know, it's not
spoils of war.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So it says, Jeremiah 30:6, it says, ask ye now and see whether a man thus travaileth child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
Yeah, so if men are gonna be like a woman in travail, right, scared as hell, crying, how much more a woman? You know? And a lot of these women, they don't have no fathers. They really don't have no man to protect them. If all hell was to hit the fan right now, how many of these women got a man willing to die for them? Not many. Even a simp will draw the line at that. You know, it might be a simp, but he ain't that stupid to die for you.
Yep.
But again, a lot of men will starve to death. A lot of men will get taken into the world's war, drafted off into conscription. But women, you're gonna be left to figure it out. And Esau gonna come with that chip. There's a lot of women are gonna be first in line, just like they were first in line for that jump shot.
Yep.
Because their daddy is Esau. Because he's been giving them the teats, he's giving them the benefits. So they look at him like he's her protector. But little do you know, he's about to throw you bitches under the bus too. He don't give a damn about you women, especially you black and Latino women. Just beginning with the black woman, but all you Israelite women.
Yep.
So you better start getting in line. It will behoove you to get in line now. But we know that a lot of women ain't. It's gonna need to be something very drastic to take place in America for you to get right and be willing to submit yourself to a man like Isaiah 4:1 says, where you're not even gonna require nothing from us, but to be called by our name.
That's right.
Now, bitch wants you to be 6 foot, earning $600,000 a year. You know, all this. She wants you to have a Lambo, and then she wants you all for herself. Well, all that's going out the window.
Yep.
You ain't got nothing to say to us or demand nothing from us. Is what can you do for us? You know. And again, it's gonna be a time where it's life and death. You know, where you're gonna be scared to even leave the house. So how you gonna eat? We're not worried about that. Because the Lord said he's going to provide for us. And by extension, he's going to provide for the ones that are following after us, because they're going to start to believe on Yahweh Shem Shai through our words. But so a lot of believers are about to come, you know. And again, we need a lot of women to repopulate the nation. So there's going to be a lot of women coming. Go ahead.
Yep. Last verse in Jeremiah 30:7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
That he is that man that's more precious than fine gold. That's who's going to be saved out of it, the elect. But guess what? When we're talking about the beginning with the servants of the Lord, the 144,000, but there's still a great multitude that has to be delivered, that will be delivered. But where they at? Well, they just need to see something, to believe. Not everybody is on the level of faith of the prophets, but they will believe if they're destined to. And when the Lord opens up with the miracles, people are just going to see that and just instantly believe. How'd you do that? Hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And then they just start following you. Because it's not just going to be women coming to follow us. It's going to be men too. There's going to be all kind of people trying to follow the men of the Lord. Go ahead. You get Isaiah 32.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Isaiah 32:2, it says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind and a cover from the tempest.
Yeah, destroying wind, you know, the nukes ultimately. But hey, the judgments that's coming, the volstrous winds, all right, the tribulation, the perils, the judgments that are coming, the man of the Lord is going to be a hiding place from that. So you're going to have to be called under, you know, you're going to have to be called by our name to get delivered from all those things. And we again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, we're going to be able to do the impossible to get out of those situations. To the point where women, they not, you know, women got all these things to say now in 2025. They'll speak up, cuss you out, you know, talk back. And that day ain't gonna be none of that. These women are gonna be real quiet. They're gonna be in their rightful spot. Yeah, they're gonna be in their feminine, right? Ain't gonna be not an ounce of masculinity in them. Ain't gonna be no talking back. You tell them to do something, they not even gonna ask questions. They're gonna do it immediately. If not, you can get to walking. Your ass fall asleep, and then when she wake up, you know where to be found because she didn't take orders. Oh well. And the Lord's gonna have us set up. Again, the scriptures say that, of course, it ain't gonna be right away, you know. But the scriptures say what it says: "My servant shall eat." We're gonna have abundance. All right. And again, these women, they see power, and they know it, and that's what they draw themselves onto. Like when a nation is invading another nation, and they're getting their asses whooped. Well, the women they'll fall in under the invaders. They'll get with the program.
Yeah, that's what women did with Esau.
Yep.
You know, so when everything get placed back in its rightful position, they're gonna gravitate to the power.
Yep. So what do you think happened in World War II when the Nazis was invading these countries? Them women were submitting themselves to them. When America would go into these other nations, that's why Jake left a lot of seed out there in what is it, Vietnam, you know, and out there, all the nations really that they've gone to, America leaves seed, you know, the Americans, they leave their seed behind because they take the women. Go ahead, though.
Come on. It says, and the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a comfort from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what the men of the Lord is going to be in that time, man. A hiding place, a hedge of protection, because we're going to be under the hedge of protection of the Lord. All right, calling on the true names, being inside of that tower, which the scripture talks about in Proverbs the 18th chapter. Okay, we're gonna be under his protection, and he's gonna. The scripture says it's gonna be that time where he's gonna show favor onto his servants, man. Okay, which consists of abundance of protection. Okay, abundance of women. Okay, your heart's desires will be fulfilled in that time. All right, it's the beginning. That's why the scriptures say Esau is the end and Jacob is the beginning. That's the beginning of the Lord starting to raise up, all right, his sons and to spoil us, man. Okay.
And it ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, we looking around. It's gonna be people dying all over the place. It ain't gonna be like we chasing these women. No, they're gonna be chasing us, man. Mm-hmm. You know, and again, these women, the women that are gonna come, they're just a perk. You know, right. They're just an accessory. Right. To what the Lord's gonna give us. Mm-hmm. You know, we're gonna be worried about. You know, we're gonna have to feed the flock. We're gonna have to be shepherds. You know, we're gonna be, oh yeah, come here, slave. And nah, man, we're gonna be in a whole different spirit.
Yeah, delegating the kingdom. Because at that point, you know, you're gonna have to lead a whole bunch of people. So just like how Moses had to be instructed how to delegate his affairs with all those followers that he was responsible for, it's going to be like a mini program to that degree where you ain't gonna be worrying about a woman. You at war. Right. What warrior is overwhelmed about women? not the elect. All right, not the men of the Lord. All right, we're gonna be focused on seeing the Lord's work and attending to the kingdom, man. Mm-hmm. Like the scriptures say, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000, but no trouble shall come nigh onto thee. Psalms 91. All right, we're gonna be we're gonna be on watch. All right, like the priest said, you know, the women are just gonna be a perk of that moment. You know, it's like having some water, or having, you know, different, you know, accessories, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And again, they're gonna be believers. You know, they're gonna become believers. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
the Israelite women, and a lot of, who knows, a lot of them, maybe it's she might be a fine ass woman. You know, the Lord got her preserved for you. You know, and she gonna come running, and that the Lord gonna set it up. Where she might not know nothing about the truth right now. You know, so just because you know you a woman and you know about this truth, that don't mean you gonna get a guaranteed spot. You could be a complete bug out for all we know. But there's plenty of women out there that brothers look at it like, damn, look at that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't get us wrong. We ain't, we look at, that's the beauty of a woman. You know, that was made for men. To look at, and that's why the scriptures say, "Be not taken by the beauty of a woman." Roughly paraphrasing.
Yep. Stumbled out a woman's
Yep.
beauty.
But we, brother, we're men. We like to look at beautiful women. But that in that day, the women they just gonna, the Lord gonna have them. They just gonna come across your path. She don't. That's why I'm saying. Like the scriptures say, Paul said, if you have not a wife,
Mm-hmm.
seek not one. Roughly
Yep.
paraphrasing, because we not. Don't be occupied. Oh, I gotta get me a sister, and I'm gonna tell her about this woman. I'm gonna tell her about the truth. You can if you want to, but that's just gonna bring you problems. Honestly, more problems. So just because she's not a believer, don't mean she ain't gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to say she's gonna not be a believer later on? In that day. In that day, the scriptures say.
Mm-hmm.
So just because she don't know nothing about the truth now, don't mean nothing. All right, the Lord has set it up where she come across you in that day, see you with that power. Then you gonna obviously you're gonna tell her how the hell people in general are gonna ask how you do that. Imagine you feed 100 people with one jar of peanut butter. Everybody get a peanut butter, and then the peanut butter is still full. Everybody drink water, and the next day the buckets are full again. Or that very day, So same thing that happened with the Lord. That matter of fact, they ended up with more food than they began with after feeding everybody. So you don't think that people are gonna ask us? So hey, that's when their time. Because women really don't believe right now.
Mm-hmm.
They can say they believe, but if they really believe, you got a wife. If you want to see if she believes, tell her to go get you another wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the scriptures, right? But in that day, they shall be willing. So hey, don't be, you know, even the scriptures even say if you have a wife, be as if you didn't have one.
Yep.
Because our main objective, the woman you should be desiring is Sophia, wisdom. And serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's our main duty. And again, the women are just a bonus, a perk that comes with it. Because the Lord knows our desires. He knows what we want. He made us to be like such.
Mm-hmm.
So, what, you think the Lord ain't going to give us what we want? Of course, man. And it could be, hey, honestly, it could even be a harlot, an Instagram thought, that all these men desire. She going to be for you. Didn't the Lord say that? The harlot shall enter into the kingdom before the wicked scribes and Pharisees?
Yep.
So that's not far-fetched either. But really, brothers is looking for virgins. But we know that in America, that's a not really a thing. Unless yeah, they are of a certain age. But in this society, that's considered P. You know what I mean? But it's reality. And again, even the women are going to be changed, just like when we go up into the chariots. Before that, scriptures say we're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. So are the women. The women are going to get new bodies too. Go ahead, though. You got something?
Oh, that's it.
So just a quick video, Lord, as well. It was edifying. That day is coming, man. Just be prepared to lead people. Focus on salvation, and the rest is going to be given to you. Seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and all these things will be given unto thee. So our focus should be on serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, fearing the Lord. The rest is just going to come because it's been promised unto us
That's right.
by default. But we have to serve the Lord in truth and sincerity if we want to get those bonuses, so to say. And again, it begins on this side. But first, before those women come, the Lord's going to turn us up to a whole nother level for those women to even want to come.
That's right.
Something great is going to happen on this earth through the men of the Lord so that the names of Yahweh Shem Shai may be glorified. And when people see that power, it will be undeniable. Just like when you see a celebrity or a famous athlete, women are just all in complete awe of them, melting. But that's how the women are gonna be to us, and we ain't got to do a damn thing about it. You don't need to be the nigga with the most game. You don't need to be 6'9". You don't need to dunk a ball. You just need to trust in your Shem Shai and serve him. And the things that you're gonna do, no celebrity can do. No man will be able to replicate what we will be able to do. Hell, those men are gonna be crying like bitches. The women are gonna go running from them. Shit. When these women find out that these losers in the world can't protect them, oh, this nigga's a bitch. And we over here smiling, got a big ass grin on our face, and this nigga scared because he don't know what he gonna eat. Who you think she gonna go with?
It's gonna be hard to tell.
Yep.
It'll be hard to tell who the power's with. Real quick precept. I know the elder priest quoted it earlier. We're bringing it back. Psalms 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou has the dew of thy youth.
Mm-hmm. So reading the other translations too, see what it says, because that's what's happening, man. The Lord's going to bestow power onto those that have forsaken all and gave their life up for the Lord. Sacrifice, being a living sacrifice, has its benefits, and people will see it.
That's right.
You might not see it now, but you will see it.
Yeah, like Jim Woo, like Solo Leveling was a part in time that they looked at him because he was looked at as
skinny,
despised number. You know what I mean? Like people didn't really respect him. But after he sacrificed and he was accepted out of the system, he kept on leveling up to a point where, even though he was leveled up amongst all these high-ranking so-called worldly people, when it got to a point where his rank was so potent that he couldn't even hide his identity no more. And that's what the Lord is going to do with his servants in that time, man. All right, in the day of thy power. Mm-hmm. Okay, so read this again, Psalms 110:3. When you go to war.
What version is that?
This is the NLT.
Okay.
It says, when you go to war, your people will serve you willingly.
Yeah, and we're going to war. Mm-hmm. We're already at war, but we're about to be turned into hunters. Mm-hmm. Don't hunters go to war?
Yep. Yeah, that's why the Lord said, you shall be my battle axe and weapons of war in that day, man. Yeah, it's going. See, the thing about it, the Lord is going to expose and destroy the weak, and He's going to highlight, the mighty. Mm-hmm. Because that's the times that we're coming into. All right, it's going to be obvious who the Lord is with. Who are these men that's doing all these works? Just like when you see in the book of Eli. Yep. All right, the woman seen him, she already knew.
She just started following him.
Yeah.
And that's how women are going to do to brothers. She might be trying to hide behind, just keep following you around. Hey, man, come here. Come here, Slee.
Yeah, that's heavy what you said, too, because it's going to be a series of events that's transpiring where people are going to be magnetically attracted to the servants of the Lord, from the miracles, the various different events, the things that the Lord is going to give the ability to his servants to do, man. And that's why Apostle Gabal always say, in that day you're gonna have to look for women. Women gonna be looking for you, and you're gonna have to beat them off with sticks.
Yep.
It's like flies attracted to light. All right. Verse 3, it says, when you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like the morning dew.
Yeah, man. So the Lord's gonna restore us, and then we're gonna have the power. The holy garments, this word, man.
That's right.
We're gonna be decked out. The Lord's about to deck us out on this side, and then transform us when He comes back. Mm-hmm. But the Lord's gonna start to show favor to His elect on this side before He even returns, because we have to endure to the end somehow, and we're gonna need the spiritual intervention, which other people will be able to see, mm-hmm. and it'll be undeniable.
That's right.
To the point where people are gonna, be in terror. The Lord might have you do something to have people in fear. Shit. That was it.
Yep.
Okay. And so with that, Lord's will is edifying. We're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who were well, and much love, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.